Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Panda Cave. Today, we are going to be taking a look at how to play the most expensive game ever. So, first thing I want to do is just clarify what I mean by the most expensive game ever. So, I'm talking about the initial development cost of the game. So, just the cost of the development of the initial phase of the game, or initial release. Um, for instance, like World of Warcraft, they've spent $60 million initially when they were creating the game. But in the first 4 years after the game initially released, they spent another $200 million on the DLCs that they created and just maintaining the game. So once again, while we're talking about this, remember, I'm only talking about the initial release of the game and how much money the company spent to initially release the game. So currently, or previously I should say, the leaders of this leaderboard was Star Wars The Old Republic, which holds the record at $200 million. Following would be Destiny, which has spent $140 million on its initial release. And then lastly would be GTA 5, which is in third place and has spent $137 million just on the initial release of those games. So today we're going to be looking at a brand new game. One that actually hasn't reached its initial release point. And that game is Star Citizen. So Star Citizen is still currently in alpha. And when I say currently, I mean this is currently its 5th year in alpha. If you guys are familiar with a game called DayZ, it means you guys should be familiar with games being in a alpha or early access phase for quite a few years. DayZ, for instance, was in early access for 5 years before reaching a 1.0 release on Steam. Star Citizen is in its 5th year already, and we're still very much in an alpha phase. To be exact, we're in alpha 3.5.1. So, jumping into the game now. Getting started with the game, first thing you're going to want to do is, well, take a look around. And, well, start in a pretty small room. So, few key components of this game is, it doesn't like tell you what to do, where to go, none of that. You literally are going to need to read a lot of signs. So, obviously, we're going to follow our way to the exit to try to get out of here. And yes, this game is a MMORPG in a sense. So, there are indeed lots of other players playing this game as well. So, don't be surprised when you run into quite a few other people doing the same thing as you. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to retrieve our ship, which, easy enough, you do at a ship retrieval console. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to track and retrieve my Aurora MR.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
And a key note about this game is it feels a lot like Elite Dangerous. The big difference, though, is you are an actual person. Elite Dangerous, you're always in a vehicle. You're either always in your ship or you're on your little, like, ground transport.
Unfortunately, our automated system is unable to access that ship.
Okay, almost didn't get my ship there. So, we gotta remember,
Try again later.
Dock 7, that's where our ship is at. It's gonna be pretty important trying to get out of here. So, once again, like I was saying, in Elite Dangerous, you're not a person. You're literally just constantly on a ship. And in this game, you're actually a person. You run around. You have oxygen and vitals. And all those are tracked, actually, in this game. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you can actually see my heart rate, how much oxygen I have in my tank, and how well my suit is holding up and everything. And another really interesting thing about this game is the interaction mode. So interaction mode is done by holding F. Dude, this guy does not even have a helmet on. You're insane. Okay, hold on. Dock 7. We're not heading in the right direction. Once again, I told you, you have to read a lot of signs. So, like I was saying, this game, you're on foot, it tracks your vitals, it's a lot more in-depth than Elite Dangerous honestly went. So they are adding a whole nother level of realism to the game with this. So, we can take a look at my beautiful spaceship, and this guy is literally following me. I don't know why he's following me. Or how he's surviving without a helmet. Once again, the game's not perfect. It is only an alpha. Is he honestly trying to get in my ship? Okay then. So, like I was saying, so the interaction mode in this game is honestly a feature that I have not really seen in a lot of games. So, by holding down the F button, so normally you're able to look around and that's just your normal mouse movement. But holding down F, honestly, your character looks, basically you're controlling just his head, and this gives you access to be able to go and access your control panels on your ship, or like you saw me earlier, use touchscreens around the world, like on the ship retrieval console. So this is how a lot of your stuff is done. So interacting with your star map, turning on your ship, turning off your ship, getting out of your pilot seat kind of deal, all of it's done just by holding F. Now for the fun part, is flying your ship. So, I still don't know how I feel too much about this level of flying. Pretty basic controls. Space makes you go up, and control will make you go down. And then, you know, your whole WASD moves you forwards, left, right, backwards, all that fun stuff. Q and E rotates you, and then to actually steer, you're going to use your mouse. The only problem that I have is if you don't center your mouse back, you will continue to spin. So every single time you want to actually sit still, you need to aim your mouse back dead center so that you don't spin, and then you can look around again freely. Because if you don't, well, you're literally just going to keep spinning and spinning and spinning. So it does take a little bit of getting used to, as most flight games allow you to look with the mouse and then it'll pull itself back to center. But that's not the case in Star Citizen. So, another big thing that was in Elite Dangerous was traveling from system to system. You had a warp drive, which allows you to jump from system to system, like I said. So, sadly, right now with Star Citizen's development and only being an alpha, the world we are in is not that large. So, like I was saying, Elite Dangerous, you have an entire galaxy that you can jump around, and you jump solar system to solar system. Currently, the only part that we have in Star Citizen right now is everyone starts here at Port Olisar. Crusader is a planet, and these are its moons and satellites that orbit it. Zooming out further, we are in the Stanton system. At least I would guess that our system would be called that, knowing that the star is called Stanton. So this is just a solar system. That is it. That is all that we have access to right now. So, once again, this game is still early in development. I can't say new in development, but it's still an early stage in development, to where we don't have too much to explore like we did in Elite Dangerous. But one big difference in Elite Dangerous is, in Elite Dangerous, once you were in the solar system, you flew everywhere by hand. In Star Citizen, not so much. So, zooming back into the Crusader system, once again, I'm hanging out over here near Port Olisar. So, we're going to go ahead and we will go to Yela. Possibly. Okay. I'm not seeing the green line show up on there, but I did see it. Okay, once again. Don't forget to hold F if you want to look around your ship, so you don't do that. So, it looks like I did indeed set the route correctly. And like I've been saying, this game is in early access. There are bugs. Don't be surprised when you find bugs in a game that is calling itself early access. So, the neat feature about this game is your quantum drive. So, there's two mechanics in this. There's the calibration, which is you pointing towards the target where you want to go, and then obviously you have to spool up your quantum drive before you can use it. Once both things are done, you continue to hold B, and it activates your quantum drive for you. And it basically jumps us to the planet. This does not mean that you're safe from people, as there are ways to actually pull people out of quantum drive. So, don't think you can just activate it and walk away, and you'll be good and everything.
Quantum drive is now off.
So, we have now arrived at one of the moons of Crusader, named Yela. Isn't it beautiful? And honestly, the game is quite good looking. I will give them that. With how early this game is, they have done a lot of work with the graphics, and it shows. So, now that we are at Yela, if it will let me zoom in, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to go and find somewhere to hang out at. So, it doesn't look like we're too far away from here, so we're gonna go ahead and set her out there. So, there it is. So, I'm gonna go ahead and quantum drive as close as I can get there, as we're still a ways away from the planet. And I don't feel like quite flying all the way there by hand. So, I'm gonna go ahead and activate quantum drive. Quantum drive will only take you so far, or as close to a planet as it safely can, basically before you enter the atmosphere. As that's this, basically once you're in the atmosphere, you can't really quantum drive anymore. You're gonna have to do it all your flying by hand. And once again, this game is very in-depth. So, as you just saw, I overdid it with the afterburner there, and I overheated my flight systems. So at this point, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to cruise on in down to the surface, and we'll take a look at everything from the surface point of view. And one major thing to note about this game is the physics engine that they have is amazing. As honestly, almost just crashed into the planet there because I was going way too fast, and I had to like basically point upwards as my ship was trying to fly down into the planet, and well, it was totally going to if I didn't turn upwards and, you know, start thrusting upwards to slow down. So the whole physics engine of this game is honestly quite brilliant. Basically, you have lots and lots of thrusters all around your ship. And they basically built the physics engines so that these thrusters know exactly which direction to fire to move in the direction that you want. But it also means when you get into ship-to-ship combat, if you start to lose engines, your ship is going to behave differently. It won't be able to fly as fast or as straight or turn as nimbly as you once knew it could. So, I mean, there's a lot of depth into this game that they are adding, and I think is taking it truly a step further than Elite Dangerous ever has. Which is why I'm really excited for this game, and can't wait for it to honestly come into a full release state. But we're probably years away from that, honestly. So, we're just trying to find a safe spot to land around here. Just so we can go ahead and hop out. Okay. So you do gotta lower your landing gear, as you would expect. And there we go. And we're gonna go ahead and turn the ship off. And we'll go ahead and take a look outside at Yela, one of the moons of the planet Crusader. And I have died, it looks like. Okay. So, once again, this game is filled with bugs right now, but at the same time, it is in early access. So, honestly, if you do decide to pick up Star Citizen, do not be upset with things like that, as it's like, the game is in early access, which means there are bugs, and they are currently working heavily in development with the game. That was a bit unfortunate. I was honestly not expecting that to happen that fast. But we will go ahead and try to retrieve my ship. So, right now my ship is still sitting on Yela. So, we're going to go ahead and put an insurance claim in for this game. Yes, that is correct. You can file a claim so that you can get your ship back. So, once again, this is how long it's going to take for my ship to get delivered back to this spaceport. Or I can pay some extra money to get it delivered here much sooner. I am cheap. I am not paying the extra money. So, while we wait for our ship to be delivered, we will go and wander around the port of Olistar to see what else we can do. So, a few things that you can do around here is, for instance, buy better armor. So, as you can see, I am wearing what looks to be the most boring set of armor on the planet. Or the port, I should say. So, in here, you can spend your hard-earned credits from doing missions. Anything from delivering to killing people, honestly, and being a mercenary. And all of this will make you credits to slowly work your way up to better and better armor. Which, I mean, honestly, these look pretty cool. A lot cooler than what I'm wearing right now. But I am a frugal spender, and I have not made any money yet in the game, so I don't plan on spending anything right now. You also have weapons. Yes, that is correct. We do indeed have weapons that you can equip. Right now, I just have a pistol that is on my hip. And one thing that I really love about this game is I can see my legs. I can see the pistol on my hip and everything. So, once again, most of the time when you look down at your feet in a game, well, you don't see anything. This one, you can actually see yourself, which is great. So, in here, they have multitudes of weapons. They range from snipers, to SMGs, to assault rifles, and varying pistols. So once again, the game gives you a lot of options on what to do, and honestly, being able to run around, shoot things down in your ship, and then come back in here and buy yourself some guns, and do the same thing after fighting a ship battle, run down to the ground and start shooting more bandits, well, that's a lot of fun in my opinion. And then the last thing that I know about that exists here, or the last two things, is this is kind of like, so there's two layers to your armor. You wear an undersuit and you wear your armor. So underneath is this power suit is going to be a undersuit. So once again, I don't have anything, or I have an undersuit on, but I don't have any clothing kind of deal. Not too worried about that one. But, like I said, armor followed by an undersuit. So actually right now the only armor I have is just a helmet. I actually don't have any armor on, which means we are just looking at my lovely undersuit. And as you can tell, I keep hitting escape to try to get out of that screen. So that screen is accessed via F1. And you have to hit F1 again to get out of it. And I'm just so used to pressing escape to get out of things like that. So what is this? We'll go ahead and buy this, and we will equip it. Change up our outfit just a little bit so we don't look too much like a noob. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what I just purchased now, or how to equip it, honestly. I feel like that may have been a waste of money, as I do not see underneath clothing anything of an option other than eyewear. So we will go ahead and move on, as it seems I have wasted some money on some clothes that I can't quite use yet. And we will go ahead and go to Dumper's Depot, which is ship parts. Yes, you can upgrade your ship. Okay, so after getting rudely cut off due to some memory issues on my PC, we're back here at Dumper's Depot. So, Dumper's Depot basically is just a parts depot for your ships. So, this includes everything from the weapons on your ship to coolers, power packs, and your shield generators, and even your quantum drives can be upgraded here. Obviously, all this stuff is pretty pricey. I don't have a lot of credits, so I can't afford any of these upgrades for my ships. But if I could, this is where I would go. So that about covers everything that you need to know, at least, on how to play Star Citizen. So, the last thing you guys are probably wondering is how expensive is Star Citizen in the end? Well, as of today, in a sense, the game has already spent close to $260 million on development. That is correct. It outdoes our previous leader of Star Wars The Old Republic by a whopping $60 million. And once again, this game's just an alpha. So, I mean, who knows how much more money they're going to be able to spend before the game actually hits a 1.0 release. So, as of now, they've already claimed that #1 leader spot for the most expensive game in history. As this guy contemplates life, it looks like. Yes, you. So, as I get creepily stared at by this NPC, and that concludes our look on how to play Star Citizen, the most expensive game to be developed yet. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and especially don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys next time at the Panda Cave.